Well, what
Continue on Castle Creek Road for 12 miles.
Well, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to Creek's Outdoors. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of truck camping. I have today and tomorrow off of work, so we're going to do some truck camping. I found a nice little spot that we can get off, and we're just going to have a peaceful little time back there. Nothing too crazy, just soaking in some of the Colorado beauty today. So I'm on the way there right now. It's going to be about 25-30 more minutes, and we'll get all set up and cook some dinner tonight and just have a nice peaceful evening. Y'all, I really can just not get over how beautiful it is. Look at all those millions of aspens over there. So over there we have millions of aspen trees. And then right here, tons of pine trees. Not sure, maybe spruce those are. And then right there, look, that is like, I don't even know. That's like, looks like the Swiss Alps or something. Like, so beautiful. If you couldn't tell yet, the truck is definitely a little dirty right now. It's got pollen all over it. That's all right though, we'll give it a wash soon.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Cooper Creek Road.
Well, the road turned into not a road, it's gravel now, so we're going off-road in a little bit. We'll take it easy and hopefully it doesn't get too bumpy. I thought that might be a good spot right there, but that sign says no camping. So onward it is. Road hasn't been too bad so far, just a little bumpy. It's the big dips that get me nervous because my truck has a, like between the front tires and the back tires, you know, there's a big distance. I guess that would be a long wheelbase, I don't know. And that's where, you know, like a Jeep has that shorter distance between the front and back tires and they can get over more stuff, but my truck, I gotta worry about things hitting it. Oh, look right there, pretty little creek going by. Wonder if there's any trout in this river. I'm sure there is. Okay, so here's the first campsite. Got the river right there. I'm thinking about taking this one, but I think I'll just drive up a little bit further and keep looking. So I'm not loving the looks of the road right here. It's probably hard to tell on the camera, but this is super steep and bumpy. Like these rocks right here stick up a lot. Here's the third campsite right here. I have a little bit of a view of the mountain, but not much. So I'm not really loving how bumpy the trail gets up that way, and being that I'm not a super experienced off-road driver, I think I'm just gonna take that first spot there, and then maybe I'll walk up here and check it out. But I'm gonna take that spot. If I had a little bit of a lift on my truck, I'd definitely be more confident, and if I had more experience, but I don't wanna get myself in a bad situation out here, so I'm gonna take that first spot. Definitely want to make sure as I'm backing up that I don't put my truck into the river. That would be no bueno. All right, spot number one, here we are. We got the river right there to gently rock us to sleep. I got a little fire pit, a bench, big open area. This is actually a great spot right here. And so actually all these spots at this place, I'll put a link in the bio, but it's called Pearl Pass Dispersed Camping. It's all on National Forest land, and it's all first come, first served. So you don't have to have a permit, you don't have to pay anything. You just come out and use it by paying your taxes. You're paying to be able to use this kind of stuff. Woohoo! That water is so cold. Oh my God, that takes your breath away. Woo! Golly. That is some of the coldest water I have ever felt. Oh, just putting my feet in was freezing. It was like an ice bath. So you can see how high and fast this river is right here. June is actually the time of year when the rivers and streams in this area are gonna be going the fastest, because all the snow is starting to melt up on the mountains, or continuing to melt. And all of that runoff is going into these streams, and it's making the streams get really fast, a lot of cold water, a lot of high water, and it's a dangerous time to be in the river. It can be a fun time if you like whitewater rafting, that sort of thing. And then as that water goes down in the end of June into July, the fishing's gonna get better, because you're not gonna have that high, muddy, rushing water. So hopefully in July, we should have a lot of good fishing. I walked up the hill a little bit, and I definitely think I made the right decision in not driving up here, because there's a bunch of big rocks that stick up in the trail, and I just don't have enough clearance. But just check out that river down there, how fast that's flowing, all the dead trees caught up in there. Man, you would not want to be caught up in that. Yo, check that out right there. There's actually a little pond up here. That is pretty sweet. There's a little mountain pond up here. Gorgeous view in the background. I don't see any fish in there. Yeah, I'm not seeing any fish. Maybe there's some, but I don't have my fishing license yet, because I haven't dropped the $120 yet to buy one. So I'm kind of glad I don't see fish in there, or I'd be bumming. Now that I've made it back to my campsite, I think I'll get a bit of a fire going, and then probably just do some chilling out. I want to do some reading of my book. And to get the fire going, I've got an old parking ticket, which I still need to pay. I got like 10 more days to pay, and a couple of checks to get her going. I have a good feeling this fire is going to light very, very quickly, because this wood is super dry. And luckily, who was ever here last collected a bunch of wood and left a bunch of it here for me. That was perhaps the easiest fire I've ever lit. That wood was so dry, and because it's so dry, I'm gonna try to keep the fire nice and small. Obviously it has to stay in the pit, but I just get worried about ashes getting out and starting a forest fire, so I'm gonna keep the fire small. Also, if I keep the fire small, I won't use up all of my dry wood as quick, so we'll keep it small. And I'm gonna do a bit of reading now of this book I got about D-Day. Really good book right here, and it's a big one, so I've got some ways to go. Man, it's pretty crazy how quickly you get cold with all this rushing water around, and then the sun just goes over the mountain and you're in the shade, you're up in high altitude. It can get cold pretty quick. I've been reading for about, I don't even know, 45 minutes or so, and it's getting real cold as the sun drops down. Luckily, I always keep some extra clothes in my car, so I got a pair of sweatpants here I can throw on, and I'm probably gonna throw some shoes on as well, switch out of the Tevas, but I definitely underestimated how cold it would get tonight. These shoes I'm about to put on here, guys, are pretty neat, and I wanted to show them to you real quick. If you're into running or trail running, you probably know what these are. They're called Ultras, A-L-T-R-A. And why I think they're so cool is because, first off, if you can see here, the toe is actually like just as wide or wider than the heel. So they have a super wide toe box, and what that means is that your toes aren't gonna get scrunched up here. So like when you're running, this allows your toes to spread out like they're naturally made to do, like God made them to do, you know, spread out. You can grab onto stuff, and pretty neat in that way. And then also from the back to the front, I know you notice a lot of shoes have a super big heel, and those are good for walking, but if you're running or doing a lot of like uphill movement and stuff, you want to be on the balls of your feet. And this way, this has the same cushion from the front to the back, and so it just makes it for a more natural way to walk. And you can see mine, they're a little curved. They got the natural curve of my feet from walking in them, and these are super cool. They have a ton of grip on the bottom. If you're into trail running or just hiking, these are great. Give them a try. With the sun going down, it's a pretty great time to go for a walk in the direction I came in, and I got the binos with me, see if I can see any wildlife. Who knows, maybe I'll see some elk, and then we can come elk hunting in this area in the fall. Right here you can see all these trees that are just piled right there. There must have been at some point either like a bad like storm that came through, or a rock slide or avalanche or something, and knocked all those down. My guess is it was a really bad storm that just blew all those over right there. Yep, that's a rock. Honestly, there's not a ton of good glassing spots out here. You can't see very far in any direction because we're between mountains. Either way though, I'm still a little kid and just like looking through binoculars at trees and rocks and stuff. It's getting dark and I'm getting hungry. I was gonna cook on my stove on the back of my truck, but since we've got this nice little grate here, I think we'll just go ahead and build the fire up and cook right over that. Sticking with the theme from last video, I'm gonna be cooking venison again, but today we're gonna make venison pasta. So I've got some ground venison, I've also got some mushrooms, onion, and some butter and garlic. And then we're gonna cook some pasta and put all that together. And then I got some pasta sauce to go on top. That water is taking all dang day to boil, so I'm switching it to the jet boil. That pot is actually made for a jet boil. It's not great setting it up on a fire, so we're gonna boil the water on the jet boil and then we'll cook the other stuff on the fire. As the pasta is cooking on the jet boil, I'm starting to get the cast iron warmed up, getting a bigger fire going. This cast iron will do a lot better up here than that jet boil pan. So throwing some butter on and then the meat will go in. Here's the ground meat, which is now going in. Quickly, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my mushrooms and onion. So the meat is pretty much cooked, and I went ahead and threw the onions and mushrooms in, and then some garlic and some more butter. Pasta's done as well, so we'll just wait for those vegetables to get a little bit sauteed in there, and then we'll throw it all together. I probably have more meat and vegetables than pasta. I didn't bring a ton of pasta, so it'll be like half pasta, half meat and vegetables, half sauce, but it'll be good either way. Last thing I'm gonna do here is go ahead and season with some salt and pepper. I just tasted one of those mushrooms and they are so good. Cooking in cast iron is always better because it just holds in all that flavor from over the years and all the butter and grease that's been in there. Okay, I think it's time to combine all the ingredients. Let's put the pasta in. And then we got some Classico tomato and basil sauce here. Oh yeah. Oh my. That is so good. Needs to be a little bit warmer. We'll let it all warm up a little bit more with that cold sauce on there. But oh my gosh, that is so good. And I'm hungry. This tastes 10 times better than it probably does just because I'm so hungry. Okay, time to eat. All right, it's officially time to eat, and I am so excited for this meal right now. Of course, I even brought me some whole milk here because no meal is complete without some milk. Got that, got the food, let's dig in. This is really good. One of the better meals I've probably cooked over a fire. It's always tricky cooking over a fire because you get different temperatures. But with the cast iron, it can take that high heat and it spreads it out good. I don't know if it actually does or not. I'm rambling, but it worked for me this time. Really good. And the venison from Ohio, from our farm, makes it even better. So good. To get all those pans cleaned, I used a little trick there that I found on Outdoor Boys. Just using natural elements, I used a little piece of that pine tree as my sponge to get my pans all clean. Well, I do reckon it's time to get my bed set up. Got my little inflatable camping mattress, and I brought my pillow, and I got a sleeping bag and a blanket. All good to go. Let's get her set up. Alrighty, the bed is all set up. Alright, time for bed, y'all. See you in the morning.
The next day.
Top of the morning to y'all. It's another beautiful day here in Colorado. Not a cloud in the sky, and that river just keeps on rushing over there. I wonder what amount of water has went by me since I've gotten here. Like, that thing is just, you could hear it rushing all night, and that's what rivers do. So I'm gonna get some food in my belly. Let's do that real quick. And I got everything pretty much packed up already, actually. So just enjoy a little bit of the morning here and eat my food. Luckily, last night, no bears tried to get in our car, so that was good. It's definitely good to keep that scent as low as possible, so I keep all the food inside a cooler and then that cooler inside my car. It's time to say adios and vaya con Dios. Here to spot number 1 at Pearl Pass. Had a great time. Nice little secluded spot. I did have one person come in late last night that parked up there, but other than that, there's like no one back here. I saw a couple people driving in yesterday, but I think only one other person stayed out here. Completely free to use, and magnificent views all around of the mountains. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna get out of here, get home, and soak up this beautiful day. Get out, guys, have an adventure, and we'll see you next time on another episode of E. Krieg's Outdoors. Peace out. All right, the video was supposed to be over, but that's the first bear I've seen since I've moved to Colorado, so I just wanted to stop and throw it in this video real quick. He's just chilling out in that pasture this morning, having himself a good old time. So cool. All right, now the video's over.